I can remember when all this was fields, cattle, wrapped in barbed wire.
Vanilla latte, sift to go. I drink it slow. Morning coffee, cappuccino, hold the phone. Take me home.
Hi, I'm Greg Fox, and I'm your host of Being Expresso. We're happy that you're here this morning, and we have some real interesting programs, some real interesting people. Please stay for the entire show. We're here today. Well, I'll let her introduce herself since she is extremely knowledgeable about how to handle communication. So, Ann?
Hi, I'm Ann Beal, and I am the host of the radio show Living Well with Ann Beal. And I'm also the director, owner of Life Solutions Coaching and Counseling in Azle, Texas and Haslet, Texas.
Wow. So, I understand that the Azle location is new for you.
Yes, we just opened June 1st.
Wow.
And so it's exciting.
That's an expansion.
Yes.
So how long had you been in Haslet?
Since 2004. Gosh, it's 14 years. I can't believe that. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you mentioned that you have a radio show.
Yes.
Tell us about that a little bit.
The radio show, Living Well, is basically built out of the fact that I grew up as a gymnast. I was a competitive gymnast, and I lived with my coach off and on. And I had a lot of really positive, incredible people around me growing up. And so I really didn't know that all the skills that I have are what enable me to truly live well. And I didn't understand why so many people have trouble, right?
True.
And so the longer that I've gone, especially as a counselor and a life coach, I have really learned to thank my mom for being so positive and encouraging me and making me believe I could do whatever I wanted to do and believe in myself. I also just had people around me the whole time. Like after I went to college young, and so I had a lot of really great mentors around me, and professors that just were incredible people.
So what you're saying is that you had a lot of people around you,
Yes.
but they were adults.
They were adults, yes.
So-
Yes, and then I went off, again young, to Electronic Data Systems, EDS, and Ross Perot
Oh, yeah.
was of the 20 college kids that went up to Michigan. You know, he took us, and so I didn't even really know who he was, but I was mentored by him. And growing up, the Clintons lived next door, and so we played across the street at parks. And Bill, no matter what you feel about him as a politician, you know, but he was great to us kids and really just motivated us a lot to be whatever we could be. And so as I got older, you know, a lot of people live this mundane life. They just are creatures of habit, and they will read the paper, and they have their coffee, and they go to work, and they come home, and they go to sleep. And then maybe they watch TV. And so my goal is, when people come in, to give them a passion for life and to teach them how to really have joy and happiness and success. But in order to do that, you know, they have to have these 5 areas of their life which came to me so easily because I was taught all that along the way. That, you know, there's the physical side, health and wellness, which is what I was taught as a gymnast. And then the physical, just really living a life with people around you as far as communication, conflict resolution, all those kinds of things to do well. And then the self-help, knowing how to help yourself when you're down, knowing what to do when you have anxiety, which most people come in have anxiety, stress and anger management, all those mental health kinds of things. But you also need the spiritual Life without God is empty, and it has no meaning. And so people can spend their whole life searching, and there's lots to look, cars, houses, the bigger, and they find there's this emptiness inside. So you've got to have the spiritual part of that. Yeah. And so eventually after I went through grad school, I got 2 masters, one in family life education, one in family life counseling. Went to work with Dr. Frank Minirth, a great psychiatrist, Christian psychiatrist, and he really believed that the mental, physical, and spiritual, emotional, were so important to be healthy. And so with my show, I love having people on that really exemplify that. And so my view of success is really having joy, true joy, and being able to live a life where you truly are happy. And so I do have celebrities on and people like that and athletes and that I admire. And when I have them on, it's because it's a signal to you that I admire their life. And if I admire their life, I know they live a good life. They live a true, what I would call joyful life.
And could you share a couple of names that people might know?
Well, as far as, the athletes, Troy Aikman, teaching you how to be a good team player as a kid, to go for being a team player, not your individual notoriety, and supermodels about really what's important. No matter how gorgeous you are, you're still not happy if you don't have all this actual
all the inner
wellness
stuff.
Yeah. And friends and family and people around you to love. And so I've had them on, and so Tony Hawk, so just different people. But I also like to have people in the community. I love having farmers on, because I really believe in helping your local farmer and getting truly free range, antibiotic free, hormone free food. Not GMO. And so there's food all around you. It's just, and actually love to have gardeners on, master gardeners, how to do gardening, just any kind of thing that has to do with wellness. And so I love that.
Okay. So it's like, you say almost anything to do with wellness, and that's like getting out into nature.
Yes.
Been to the nature center yet?
No, I haven't for the show yet.
Oh,
well, I've been, but we haven't done it for the show.
Okay.
And and just celebrity physical fitness people that are trainers.
Sure.
And they get celebrities in shape really fast that most people don't know how to do that, right?
Yeah,
and that's what we all long for. And so just sensible things that you can do to truly help you have an all-over good life. Because people that come into our clinic, of all the things that we see, they can learn a lot of that from the show. Yes.
Very good. Now, you've been on the radio for many years.
Yes, I used to have it on TV in 97 through 2000. And then Voice America had me bring it to radio.
I see.
And then eventually iHeart.
I got you.
And so I've been on iHeart for a while now.
Okay.
And so iHeartRadio, that's where I am now.
Okay.
And they still play it on Voice America, and then it's on a lot of radio stations.
Sure. Is there a standard time that people could listen to your show, depending on where they live?
Well, if you want to hear it live, 5 p.m. on Monday.
5 p.m.
But
Monday.
it's tons of podcasts you can go listen to of all the shows
and
in the archives.
And your website is?
Living Well with Ann Beal.
Is .com?
.com, yes.
Okay.
LivingWellWithAnnBeal.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what coffee did you get?
Well, I got a sugar-free latte.
A sugar-free latte?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of goes with your personality and your...
Yeah, I'm trying not to have sugar at all. Especially right now, at this time of year.
Here's a good opportunity to say that you're here.
Yes. The Edge Church and Coffeehouse in Lake Worth, Texas. And it is a great coffee shop. I love coffee, and I do believe coffee is good for you.
It is good for you.
Yes.
Keeps the brain really going.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're excited that you've been here today.
Thank you.
And are there some parting words that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yes. Besides Live Well, we'd love to have you come out to our new office, Life Solutions, Coaching and Counseling. And Life Solutions is in Azle, Texas, right up the road here. And we would love to have you come out. We also have massage therapists and myoskeletal therapists that will help you with pain and posture, chronic pain. And it's a full service wellness clinic. And we use essential oils and everything. And so we would love to meet you, love to have you come. We are also in Haslet, Texas. We'd love to have you either place.
Can you give us an address in Haslet?
Haslet, it's 1395 FM 156 South.
Ah, it's on the right-hand side as you're going north, right?
Yes, right when you come into town.
Okay.
Yeah. And in Azle, it's 1009 Southeast Parkway.
Oh, okay. Well, that's real close to the hospital, isn't it?
It is. Both of them are right by hospitals. And a lot of that was planned, but because we deal with so much chronic pain.
Gotcha.
Because people in pain are anxious and sad.
Yes.
And so you can see why. So we do a lot of things in our clinic to try to help them with their pain.
So, Ann, who else is in your office? I understand your husband works with you.
Yes, he's a PhD.
Okay.
He's not smarter. No, I'm just kidding about that. He is, he's a stress and anger specialist. And he is, he really does it from a Christian perspective, but a lot of people, if they don't want that, that's fine too.
Sure.
He really helps people where they are, but he's so good at stress and anger, and he taught it as a professor, how to relieve severe anxiety quickly. He's wonderful with marriages, and he's wonderful with men. He specializes with sexual addiction to help them get over that. And he discipled and mentored men for a long time. He loves working with men.
Okay. Anybody else that you want to mention?
Yes. We have Chris Craig, who's our massage therapist, and he uses essential oils. He's a funny person, and he loves doing massage. And then we have Paige McClure, who is our intern, and she's a counselor intern, and so she's going to be training with us.
Great.
Yeah.
So you shuttle back and forth to both offices
I do.
during appointment times?
Yes,
assuming.
we are in the Azle office on Mondays and Fridays, and Jim, my husband, is on Saturdays. He's there as well, and then we're in the Haslet office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm in the Haslet office on Saturday. So we split up, but eventually, once everybody gets going, we will settle in. I won't have to be at both places all the time.
Okay.
We
Smarter.
love what we do, and we feel God's really led us to do this. So it's our ministry, and the shows are our ministry, and so it's just our passion. And we're starting some new ones.
Yeah.
It as well is going to be a daily devotional,
Oh, good.
and then we are also going to do Finishing Well for older people who've just done so well and share. And again, I had them on my show before, but there's so many. You think of Zig Ziglar's widow. I mean, there's so many crazy, wonderful people out there, and that they deserve their own show.
Well, that'd be very enriching.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the more mature people don't get the exposure and the opportunity to share some of the things they learned during life and during business.
And they have so much knowledge
Yeah.
to pass on, and I love them. And I know, because so many of my mentors are in their 80s, 70s, and 80s now. Some of them are in their 90s, and they are still just, I mean, I can't get enough. I can't get
Vibrant,
enough. Yeah, yes.
They're,
And
they're living well.
they are.
Yeah.
I think that for them to pass on their knowledge and their legacy,
Yeah.
that's what Dr. Menrith did for me. And I have been talking a lot to Stephen Otterburn from the New Life Clinic. I kind of asking him, he's kind of like taking the place of Dr. Menrith for me. I'm trying to have him do that because I admire him so much.
Excellent.
And so I believe in that. I believe in mentors. I believe in always having people like that. And C.S. Lewis did that.
Yes.
He met with a group of them together to get mentorship, one to another, and networking's like that as well.
And networking seems to be the new downtown these days.
It is.
Where
That's
you get
true.
to meet other people.
Yeah.
And your show is emblematic of that style of communication.
I always meet people that I admire when I network. And I come across people that fascinate me because they have figured out something that most people haven't.
Right.
And it's one more tidbit, right, that I would like to share with people. And so I think that my curiosity about how people get where they are, I interviewed the head of the NSA. And so, like, how do you get there? How
Yeah,
did you,
really. How did
it's Carl Boyd, and Carl Ford, and I guess he wasn't yes, he was, for George Bush. And fascinating story, right? And Colin Powell, fascinating. And so most people don't know how to get from A to Z. Like, how did these people get where they are? And these kids coming out of college, like, or even high school, how do you pick what you want to do, right? They don't know. And so it's interesting that a lot of people that I've interviewed didn't major in what they went into.
That is ironic, isn't it?
And so they ended up finding their passion along the way.
Right.
But they want these high school kids, like in 9th grade, to pick what they want to do. And it's really, I mean, I don't know. Coming out of college, it was hard for me. I was a math major, so I just went, what? You know, like.
It added up.
Engineer, I don't know. Yeah. And so I think for people to realize they can be just as successful as these people. You know, Shelby Vaughn, the Olympic athlete, she loves showing people that you too can do it, especially young girls, right? And I love maximizing people and empowering people to show them what their potential is. And and what I see is amazing. And helping them have the tools. But more than anything, I want people to be empowered, to see that there's so much hope, that God has a wonderful purpose for them. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you know, even at 80, God still has an incredible purpose. And that's part of the show, Finishing Well, is showing them that, you know, you guys can pass on so much, and people will be empowered by that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. You're a bundle of fun. I ain't kidding you. If I could have you on the show again, I'd be so excited, because you have so much to impart. And most people don't have the opportunity to be in front of and share the information you just did this morning, plus have the interface with all these folks who have accomplished so much.
Well, and you are one of those. I don't know if you remember me when I was in the chamber. He was the head of the chamber of the Northwest Tarrant chamber when I had my TV show in North Richland Hills. And I came there, and you were incredible.
Well.
And so when I heard you were doing this show, I was like, oh my gosh, Greg Fox. Yeah. And so you know so many people running the chamber in North Richland Hills, all over that area, and then Fort Worth. Did you also do? I heard that.
A little bit of Fort Worth, yeah. We're going to be back right after this. We're pleased to have a visitor today in his own shop. And I'd like Steve to introduce himself.
I'm Steve Sandfort with the Edge Church and Coffeehouse.
Very good, Steve. Well, thanks for being on Being Expresso this morning. And we do appreciate the time that you're sharing with us, because I know you're busy. Tell us a little bit about the coffee house and how it came to be. And your history in relationship to that.
Okay, so the coffee house, my wife and I moved here in 2010, and our goal was to plant a church, not knowing exactly what that church would look like out of the gate, but knew that we wanted to do something missional, community-minded, so something that was much more in the community, less of a church that's only around on Sunday and focused together, but more of a full community ministry that's active in the community all week. Didn't know what that would look like. We formed about 5 families from Crown of Life Lutheran Church in Colleyville, planted with us, and those 5 families met in our living room for about 6 months before starting to grow and outgrow that living room, and that's when we opened the coffee house, largely initially just to be a place for our community to gather on Sundays as we started to work through what it might look like to be open all week. Our goal was to be a church that's open all week, like as often as possible, where we could do ministry all week. And Coffee House came about because one of our members said, hey, what if we opened a coffee shop? And we started dreaming about that. Crown of Life was a huge support for us in that they were very much gave us lots of freedom to plant however we wanted to plant. They supported a lot of what we did, both financially, prayerfully, as well as just their sweat equity in making the first coffee house work. And that first coffee house opened in 2013, We launched in 2012, and the shop itself opened in 2013, and that actually kind of what grew out of that was our young adult ministry. The young adult ministry was completely kind of a byproduct of the coffee house, and so that's why the Edge Church itself honestly has probably, well, last year we were at 79 total, and our average age was 26, I think, at the Edge Church.
That's a really good age.
That was our 2017 number. So.
So, Steve, I know that the church here supports an orphanage. Could you tell us where that is
Sure.
and how that's working?
Sure. The orphanage is La Providencia, and La Providencia is in Aguas del Padre, Honduras, which is near Siguatapeque. So, folks that know where about Honduras, Siguatapeque is kind of in the middle central mountain region of Honduras. And we've supported La Providencia from the beginning. Actually, in Nashville, I was on with a group of guys that started La Providencia and ended up on the board of directors. And so for a number of years, I would go down there every summer. I didn't go down this summer, but next summer I'll go again. And the goal there at La Providencia is our relationship with them helps them to reach orphans as well as those who are at risk and in need there in the Aguas del Padre, Siguatapeque community. And 2.5% of our sales go straight to them. And then other folks that want to come in and buy coffee or come in and make donations, we have a process where you can come to the register and actually make a donation that comes through the Edge and goes to La Providencia as well.
Yeah. I noticed by walking around the shop with my cup in hand, by the way, you can get a bottomless cup of coffee here.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Just keep drinking coffee all day, and then we'll have to strap you down to send you back out. But yes, you could do that.
Well, my wife would love me when I get home because then she can.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell us about some of the other products that you sell here.
So we also have some food. So there's a little bit of food, some sandwiches, some salads, some wraps, those kind of things, and then tea. We offer a lot of tea. There's sodas and different bottled drinks as well. Cold brew is one of our popular drinks as well. And then merchandise. There's also a few things that we support. Another ministry in Nicaragua. Beto is Beto's things. He's a guy in Nicaragua that uses old coffee sacks to make products that support an orphanage there in Nicaragua. So you can get Beto's merchandise here as well. A few things. We make basically 2 orders a year from them, and then they import it up here to Lake Worth so that we can supply our shelves here.
So the Beto's thing is that is not just the support of his effort, but
this is an example. Actually, this is a coffee tree, or a former or what used to be a coffee tree.
Really?
Now it's a coaster set. So Beto takes these, coffee plants, makes them into. There's a lamp. So we've got a lamp for sale. He also the coffee bags. It's leather, wallets, book bags, that kind of stuff. So.
How long do you think they've been doing that?
You know what, Beto's, they've been there, I think for 2 years now they've been doing this. 2 years ago they came to us when they were starting the process and they asked us to be kind of one of the pilot coffee houses. So
you're the pilot and probably the exclusive presenter of their products.
I think in this area, yeah.
Wow, that's terrific. Yeah. If you want a variety of things, this is the place to be, because not only can you be comfortable here and meet lots of interesting other people who may be walking in the door that you haven't met yet, but you get to meet Steve and his staff.
Good staff, too.
Yeah. Tell us the first name of the staff.
So Joel is our coffee house manager, and so you'll see Joel here most of the time. Our senior staff, really, he's the one who, a lot of what we do now is a huge, a lot of this is what came out of Joel's head. We just said coffee, and Joel kind of has that in the back of his head, what he's going to do. And then I've also got an assistant. Her name is Chelsea. She also works behind the bar, but she's also my assistant at Good Shepard, and she does a lot of our accounting or a lot of our paperwork stuff around here. And then we've got, it's a fluctuating number of baristas, but we've got 6-7 other baristas that come in and out. And then we've got about 3 or 4 volunteers that come in on a regular basis to volunteer behind the counter.
Well, and I also noticed that you have a full sound system and lighting. What's that all about?
We do. So on Friday nights at times we do concerts in the evenings on Friday nights especially. And then that's Small bands, like the small 3-4 person bands are fine. Lots of songwriter nights on those Friday evenings. And so that's why the lights and the sound are all here. And that we're working on a new stage, so a small platform that just elevates the stage just a little bit to make that a little bit more of a stage performance atmosphere.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So again, the timing on Friday is?
Friday's typically about 6:30 is when they start those
kind of
concerts.
rolls on until
rolls on to about
everybody rolls
8:30.
out, right?
Yeah, until everybody's gone.
Okay. Well, terrific.
Yeah.
That's a place to go on Friday night.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Edge Church. And you've mentioned it several times and everything, the whole purpose of it. And so give us a little bit of a round on that.
So the Edge Church, our mission is to love God, serve others, and share Jesus. And largely that's the Great Commission and the 2 Great Commands. The Great Commission to share Jesus. The Great Commands to love God and to love others. We love others by serving. The church itself has outgrown the coffee house location. So this particular coffee house that we're in right now, the church wouldn't fit in here, and at about the time we were struggling with space, Good Shepard Lutheran Church in Azle needed a pastor, and they were struggling with their numbers, and they came to us last year in August. I guess it was August or July, and asked us if we would consider coming up there for church on Sundays. And so we tried that throughout the latter part of 2017 and into 2018, and it looks like it's working well. So we're actually merging.
That was a blending of
right.
the churches.
So we're actually merging 2 churches. It's merging the Edge Church and Good Shepard Lutheran Church into one. Not sure yet on the name. We call ourselves the Edge at Good Shepard, kind of to give both sides, both churches a little bit of the leadership there. We've since moved, some of our Edge members have moved over to Good Shepard and have taken some leadership roles to help kind of design the new church, what it would look like moving forward. They embrace our coffee house ministry. Good Shepard has supported us through the years in our coffee house ministry. So it's been a great partnership, we feel, going forward. And they've actually shared our vision. Our vision and mission are very similar. The Edge vision is to be growing Christians, sharing the intentional love of Jesus through hospitality and compassion. And so that fits well into Good Shepard as well. So they've welcomed us. We're a family already, and that's been kind of the fun part about watching God do what He's doing. It's not me, it's God that's doing this. It's kind of neat watching it.
God has a plan.
He does. He does.
I've been asked for you to tell a story about a gentleman that you know.
I've heard that I'm supposed to talk about this story. It was a painful story in my life.
Really?
But it's a good story to share because it actually shows how God uses every situation we're in to further, sometimes to grow us, to challenge us, and to put us where He really wants us. It was about 1991. My wife and I were living in Miami, Florida, and I was a songwriter, I wanted to be a singer, wanted to be on stage. And we would drive through Nashville, back and forth up to the upper Midwest where our parents lived. We'd drive through Nashville, and I would stop and pass out cassette tapes.
Remember
you
those?
and I remember cassette tapes. And I would pass out cassette tapes with my songs on them. 3 songs, your 3-song demo tape. And I would try to get people to listen to it, from big record companies to small production companies. And one particular place called Hummingbird Productions was the name of the place right there on Music Row in Nashville. Let me come in, and the guy there, his name was Alan Robertson, let me come in and listen to my music. And he said, "Can I be honest with you?" And my thinking was, I'm a great songwriter. This is awesome. Sure, be honest, lay it on me, tell me how good this is. And he said, "Steve, this is the worst demo tape I've ever heard." I'm laughing now, but it was painful.
Oh, I bet.
And I said, "Well, tell me, which way? What do you mean by the worst?" And he said, "No, it's like the worst. Like the song is really bad. Like these songs are horrible songs. These are just bad songs. The production is really bad.
Yeah.
What's that noise in the background?" And I'm thinking, that's my washer. I mean, I recorded this in my kitchen. And not only that, the singing is really not that great. It's pretty bad singing too. So he said, all around, this is the worst demo tape. And he knew that I was kind of walking Music Row, passing out my my stuff, and he said, I hope you didn't give these out to a lot of people.
And you had?
And he was my last stop. I had given them out to maybe 50, 100.
Sure.
And it was an awful time. He said, most of all, I just want to tell you, don't move to Nashville. Go do something else. Go let God do something with you somewhere else. Don't move to Nashville.
Sure.
And I was crushed. I met my wife. She was walking our dogs. We had 2 dogs. She was walking them up and down Music Row while I'm doing this. And I walked back out, and I've got tears in my eyes. And she's like, what happened? And I said, nothing. I don't want to talk about it. I get in the car, and we were to Clarksville before I actually could just say, okay, this is what happened.
Wow.
So, but you know what happened? So God used that time to send me to. We ended up moving from Miami to Wisconsin, and I was a youth worker up there, and kept writing songs. And eventually, my church there said, well, we'd love to have some recordings like of your music. We really love your songs. And so I went to Branson and recorded my first album, and that went so well that I started working on a second one, and our youth program there was growing, and just really realizing God had me there for a reason. Like he'd allowed some difficult, challenging things to happen so that I could get to the place where he really wanted me. And then by 2000, or actually 1999, we made the choice that we were going to move. And we moved to Nashville because somebody in Nashville had asked if I come to Nashville that I could work with them in music. And so it was actually a great segue to, we went to Wisconsin instead of moving to Nashville, and then Wisconsin ended up leading us to Nashville. The church in Wisconsin, when I said to St. Paul Lutheran Church in Sheboygan Falls, I said, hey, I'm going to move to Nashville, we're going to leave. They said, you're not going to leave. We're going to send you. And so they actually sent us as musical missionaries, if you will, and we traveled the country for 8 years from Nashville, Tennessee, doing music, and I did some acting and did all kinds of things out of Nashville. And it was mostly because, God used that moment in Nashville with Alan Robertson to keep me from coming at that time.
Right.
Sent me to the people that would help me to grow, and then they sent me to Nashville. So I love how God works. I mean, that's the whole community, the family of
Sure.
Christ works together that way. So
Steve, I've noticed that there's kind of an interesting little round frame up there by the cash register and the counter. What's that all about?
So that round frame, it's a kind of a pay it forward frame where you could come in and buy a cup of coffee for someone who comes in and doesn't have any money. And we're not Lake Worth's not a huge homeless area, but we do have folks that are in need that come in and out of the coffee house. We're known as a church coffee house, so there's people that come in and out of here all the time that are in need, and they can always grab one of those receipts, and it's already paid for. So somebody else has paid for the receipt or paid for the drink, and come to the counter, turn the receipt in, and have the drink. Our goal is to see that full. So that's the goal.
Really? So right now you have
I think there's seven receipts.
That's not too bad.
No.
But by the end of this week, or maybe going into next week, how many do you think we ought to try for?
20.
20?
I think 20 would fill it.
I think 20 would be about
20 would
right.
fill it, yeah.
And that means that I can come in and go, I didn't bring my wallet today.
You can.
I love that idea. Thank you, Steve.
You bet, Greg. It's great to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I
having me.
appreciate the coffee house.
Yep.
This is a great environment.
Yep.
Been coming here since you were in the other location.
You have, and I've really appreciated your support.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that, and you're going to continue to get that support.
Thank you.
And as long as you keep supporting the folks that drink this coffee,
You betcha.
we're okay.
That's right. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back. This morning, we have a small business owner, and we're very excited to have her with us because she offers a bright spot where she and her husband have opened a small business. And I'd like Diane to introduce herself.
Well, my name is Diane Little, and I have a store, and it's called Little Shop in the City, and it's an antique store. It's 317 West Main, Azle, Texas. And I am I'm also going to be carrying new things, and I've already started ordering new things from Dallas Market.
More gift shop type things?
Gift shop.
Okay.
So people in the area can, come to our store for gifts. Candles, towels, pillows, signs, things like that. Plus we do yard art, and that's a real popular item.
I've noticed you've got some yard out in front of the shop. Is that all for sale?
It is. Yes. So we go to Canton, and we have some favorite vendors that we use, and we buy different items that are kind of hot for the summer or for spring, and we just try to dress up yards. We want to kind of evolve into a garden store as well.
I see.
And eventually I'll sell live plants. I have done that. I did that last year.
Really?
But, not to be where I want to landscape someone's entire yard, but maybe just have a unique planter where the plants are planted into those.
I'm looking for a shop that's going to eventually put seedlings in for pawpaws. She went blank on me.
Yeah, what is that?
A pawpaw is the only Native American tree-grown fruit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like.
It's about that big, and it
okay.
tastes sort of like a cross between a mango and a banana.
I can't imagine.
You have your first request.
Wow, okay. I'll have to look for that one.
So tell us a little bit more about the shop itself and how you came to find it.
Well, my husband Don and I, we've only been married for 2 years. We were high school sweethearts. We dated when we were 16 and 18, and we've reconnected. Both of our spouses passed away, and I've always had a dream of owning my own store and living in my store. And I've always, when I drive into old towns and stuff, I look at the houses and see if that's a possibility. And we found this place in Azle on Main Street. It was available, and so we moved March of 2016 there. We made it our residence, and then in July of 2017 we opened up our store. And so it's kind of evolved a little bit. Now we've kind of taken over more of the store, like the kitchen is mainly our area, but we still invite people in, and we offer drinks, and we sometimes feed people. Sometimes I'll make a quiche, and but it's really neat because I like to invite the community in, and just if they need a friend, it's not so much about a store for me as it is a ministry.
I see.
And our very first customer when we opened, the day we opened, was a Christian family, and they prayed over our store. So we just want to be a light in the community, and we want to be there for people. So yes, I sell antiques. Yes, I sell gift items. But the most important part is just being available for people and for women, and if they need prayer or, of course we have to make a living.
Sure.
But it's just fun. It's just me. And I can share whatever I know how to do. Like, I love yard work. And so during the day when I don't have customers there, I work in the yard to try to make it look pretty. And when people come in, they're like, oh, I love your place. And they love to walk around and look. And so for me, I love for people to buy things from me, but I also like sharing what I've done with the property. And we usually give everybody a tour of our place where we live.
I understand you have a new addition to your family that has a waggy tail.
Yes. Little Odie. His name is Otis.
Little Odie?
Yes.
How little is he?
Well, he's a little long-haired dachshund, and he's got a great personality, a very big personality, and he is now the center of attention when customers come in. He meets them at the door. We did have a poodle, and everybody loved him, and he had a big fan club, but we had to put him down.
Well, that's
He
a
was
shame.
too old.
Yeah. Well, how long had you had your poodle?
He was really not that old. We had him for 11 years, and his legs were so long, and he started getting arthritis, and he lost a bunch of weight. And but really, literally, people would come in and ask where Harley was.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do the same thing with Odie.
Yeah.
He's still a little bit hyper, but
But he's a pup.
yes.
Yeah. I understand you have a few toys that Yodi likes to play with.
Yeah.
out in the backyard.
Yes.
Live toys.
Yes, live toys. Yes, we have a cat. When we moved there, we noticed, well, last, I guess, fall, we noticed in the very back building there were 5 kittens, and there were feral cats. And of course, we feed the cats, and every cat in the neighborhood comes to our place for dinner. So we call it the all-you-can-eat buffet. And anyway, Odie, our dog, loves this one cat, and we named him Wink because he had problems with his eyes, so he would wink, and so we named him Wink, but we couldn't touch him, and Odie tamed him for us, and so now we can touch Wink.
Very
So
good.
yeah, so and we when people come in our store, I mean, we really try to connect with them on a personal basis. We've made a lot of friends who are customers first, and then find out that we all go to the same church. And it's just I love Azle. It's a great community. People helping each other. It's a great place to have a business.
Yeah, it's a good small town, and it still has that flavor, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, and you know, I look forward to the town growing, and they're getting ready to build the new police station on Main Street, which is not far from us. We're right next door to the Azle newspaper, and we're next door to the next door to them is the library, and then on our other side is the entrance to the park. So we're kind of right in the middle of everything.
That's great.
And Moe's is across the street, and everybody eats at Moe's. So we just try to you know, wave our hands and say, "Come on over here."
So tell me, Diane, 5 years from now, do you think you're still going to be living on premise?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's really kind of hard to say. I mean, because we're in the process of a little venture right now that's kind of a fun venture. So I think we'll live on premise, but I think we'll live, you know, elsewhere as well. We'll kind of keep it maybe joint. But, you know, it's funny because when you live there, I think you can put more into the place because we're always working on it. You know what I'm saying?
I do. So when you develop a new customer, do you ask them what they're looking for?
I do. Sometimes, like, if I don't have it, I will write it down in a book. And if I know somebody that's selling, you know, what they want, I'll try to connect those people up. Like, there was a guy that was selling violins, and somebody came in and they were looking for a violin, and I didn't have what they were looking for, so I referred them to that guy.
Awesome.
So it's really, for me, just about meeting needs for people and just being known as a person that's trying to help people get what they're looking for.
Sure.
You know.
Now, Diane, you'd shared with me a little bit about your retail experience. Would you like to say a few words about that?
You want me to put a little plug in
Why
there?
not?
Well, I used to run a store on 7th Street called Into the West, and it is a high-end furniture, Western furniture. They do custom, and one of the best employees I've ever had. And then before that, I worked for Letty's Ranch and ML Letty's, which they were absolutely awesome.
Nobody knows Letty's.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so neat. I mean, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be blessed with very awesome employers.
If you really want to go to a place that you can enjoy being, not just a store, but somebody's true mission, go to the little house in the city. The little shop in the city.
Little shop in the city.
And
Little's shop in the city.
Little's. That's possessive, but I'm sure you'll own it as well.
Well, and also, too, Little's is our last name.
How about that?
It
Thank
takes
you,
that
Diane.
light bulb moment sometimes. Oh, and the coffee here is wonderful, by the way. We love the coffee.
Somehow I
And-
think you'll be down, won't you?
Well, and I'm hoping to carry the coffee that they sell here at our store.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah,
Great idea.
yeah,
You'll be helping out a lot more
yeah,
people.
yeah.
You know, Diane, a friend and I came and we walked through your shop, and I noticed a very unique display. Could you tell us about that and who might have prepared that for you to resell?
Well, when we originally opened, I didn't really want other vendors in my store because it is so small. And I have a friend her name is Julie, and she's extremely talented. I offered her a room to rent in our store, and she makes her own artwork. And the name of her art is Julesified. And the reason why is because everything that she does has bling on it.
Uh-huh.
And so what she does is she takes old pieces of jewelry and tin cans. It's kind of like the punk art, steampunk art. And she makes little people and angels, and every one of her little art are in a shadow box, and every piece of art has a name. And anyway, so when she's creating them, she doesn't know what it's going to be. And then when she's done with it, she looks at it and she says, oh, this is what this is. And one of them is casting crowns. That's what it's called, casting crowns. And,
Cool.
and it's this funky girl made out of a tin can with all this jewelry, and she's got a chain, and it's a heart, and there's a crown. And so she puts a lot of love into them. Also, too, she writes songs on big pieces of canvas, and it looks like chalk art, and it's very, very neat. A lot of people love her work. She does those. She actually arranges flowers. And I was teasing her last year when I went to her house because she just has a lot of color in her yard and a lot of color in her head. And I said, you've got a lot going on up there. And she did. She's a very colorful person, very, you know, the things that we go through in life, our hurts, the way I think God turns them into beauty, our ashes, is I think that it's through our expression and what we're able to do in our life after we've gone through those things.
Sure.
And you know, so I'm really excited to have her there. Plus, she has a little bit of you know, some purses and jewelry, and she's going to start carrying clothes.
That's terrific.
And I think she's going to try to do Facebook sales and stuff like that, live sales, how they're doing.
Sure.
So.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, you mentioned color several times. Color in your yard art seems to be pretty vibrant.
And for us, the yard art, I mean, I do try to pick up like tractor pieces, you know, plows, old shovels, and you know,
type stuff.
Yeah, just things that are old and vintage, and you know, tubs. But also too, I carry the large chickens and flamingos and goats, and you know, I carry pottery. So there's a lot of, you know, I mean, right now I feel like I'm really low, but we do restock, and we're getting ready to restock in about a week.
Very good. So tell us, you've added a couple of features to the backyard. Do you want to share some of that?
Well, yes, and actually it's on the side, and I ventured out and did an above the ground garden, and you know, at some point my husband brought this up, Don. He said, if we get tomatoes, which we're hoping, we're crossing our fingers, it would be so neat to, after a customer purchases something, to take them over to our garden and share some of our vegetables.
Oh,
We think that would be really neat. I mean, depending on how much we produce, you know, we might have to just say one cherry tomato per person. Or, you know, hopefully we have big tomatoes that we've planted too, but you never know if they're going to come out. But this is my first time to do that.
I understand.
But eventually that whole side, which was going to be a parking lot, that whole side I'd like to turn into an area where I can sell more plants and, you know, things that people can use in a garden or whatever. And then the dream, I know you had asked me about what I see in the future, you know, 5 years, but I would like to be able to open up a path from the front where the parking is all the way to the park, because we back up to the library and the park, and they're always doing things in the park. So eventually I would like to have a really pretty decorative path with an open arch where people can, like, when I open, I can open it during the day and then close it at night.
Okay.
So, I mean, I really want to share what we have with our community.
Sure. Well, you're very fortunate that along Main Street there's not a lot of parking,
There isn't.
but in front of your shop, there is.
Well, the parking, you know, we did, you know, you can park on the grass, but we did open up a parking spot. We put in some parking there, concrete parking, and there's a place for like five people to park.
Very good.
A lot of times people are confused where to park, so.
Yeah.
But, you
I get
know,
that.
just anywhere.
Well, thank you, Diane.
Oh, thank you. I'm so
Keep
excited.
smiling.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.